Might be loud. I think it's live. Let's see. Oh yeah, live for 30 seconds. What's up? Milkman Mike GS. What's up, guys? What's up? Sorry, that was weird. So you guys see the title of the video. Okay, so here's what's funny. This isn't like me ragging on Sam at ToolHut. I don't even know the guy. I literally, just finished watching the video. Let's see, it's 3:28 Central Standard Time. I finished watching the video, maybe 20 minutes ago. I had another idea of what I was going to talk about today, but I watched this video and I was like, ooh, this would be good. So I actually commented on his video. So there's a description down there. After we're done with the live stream, you guys can go look, or you can just leave here forever and not watch me. That's fine. I won't be hurt at all. Tear. Anyways, I just watched this video about the PM3. Hey, Peekaboo. So, I just watched this video about the PowerMax voltage stable power supply, or whatever he's got listed as the PM3, and I think he's right. Based on what I'm seeing, I would not use that PowerMax unit for flashing. Now, the other end is, he's a mobile guy in my state, just FYI. Oh, cool, I didn't know that. I haven't met the guy. I don't think I've ever seen one of his videos, and I'm sorry if he's seen one of mine. So, Sam, you seem like a really cool guy, and I'll probably buy stuff from you because I kind of liked how you did that. So, he just got a new customer, that's for sure. And this is not me disagreeing with what he says or dogging on. I actually agree with what he said. Based on what I saw, I wouldn't use that PM3 unit from PowerMax to do programming. I don't use the PM3. I use, and I would have been, if I would have been prepared, okay, so right now, I set up, my truck's outside, I got the PowerMax over there with an extension cord running, and my 15-foot cables running to the truck, the keys on, I got my bob sitting up on top of the windshield, and I kid you not, I am 20 feet away, I've got a 15-foot B&C extension to a male-to-male connector with my Pico all the way to my thing, so there's all kinds of reasons for interference here. But I've got it running, and I kind of want to see what the PM. Let me just grab what the model is. It's right here. So the model I'm using is a PMBC 100. And then I think there's an LK at the end, which I've been told they've changed, which means mine's the adjustable version. So very similar to what he showed with the fixed output and 3-stage charging and 13 to 16.5 volt option. Mine has that on the side, and mine has a voltmeter at the top, then on off and the same stuff. So if you look in my video from yesterday where I did a tour of my truck, this is where this all kind of started. I did a tour of my truck yesterday. I was going back and looking at the comments, and I saw somebody said, oh, is this the same unit that ToolHut did a review on? So I was like, oh, I don't know. So I just literally 30 minutes ago, YouTube searched ToolHut PowerMax and found this video. So I put the video link in the description. And, oh, hey, Drew. And watched the video and was like, oh, this is a good test. So we're going to find out here in I don't know, a few minutes if I'm going to continue using the PowerMax, which I probably will, because I have the PowerMax I don't know if it's any different than the one he sells, that he sells. He said he will not sell that one on his website. So, I do not see your comment on that ToolHut video. Did you include a link in the comment that would cause it to be censored? No link. No link in the comment. Matter of fact, while you guys are here, I'll just pull up real quick and see, because I got an extra screen. I'll see if I can talk. I'm a guy, so I can't multitask at all. Anyways, I've lost my train of thought. So I'm probably not going to stop using mine. He said he's not going to sell it. The video is called, Can You Use a PowerMax PM3-100 AC to DC Inverter as a Programming Power Supply? I did put my email address in my comment. So we'll put it this way. I just took my email address out of the comment. We'll see if it shows up. Mine says 34 minutes ago that I did it. So I finished watching the video 34 minutes ago. And I said, hey Sam, someone on my channel told me about your video. I got the unit labeled for programming and I'm using it. If you would like, email me at my business email and I can shoot you any waveforms you'd like to see and you can compare, and I'll do a video with mine as well. Good job, by the way. So again, this is not me. Right. Thanks, Casey Auto Doctor. I took it out. I totally didn't think about that. So I may have to rewrite that. All right. I'm gonna delete that, and then I'm gonna redo a new one with no email. There. I just made a new comment on it. Tell him that. So he'll see it. I mean, he'll see the comment, or he won't. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyways, he just posted this video. So I have mine running right now on my truck with the key on and the blower on and a bunch of loads of radio. Also inside of my truck is my inverter, my DC to AC inverter running. So that's probably going to cause all kinds of weird stuff in my waveform. I may turn that off and we'll see. Anyways, so let me pull up my oscilloscope. Now, I didn't have time to do all this, run a whole bunch, so I only have one channel going right now. So let me window capture, move that up one, bam, there you go. You guys should see my picoscope screen now. I'm going to pause that. I don't want to use the space bar because it's going to start this video. I got multiple screens going, so I don't know what space bar is going to do right now. So let's take a look. So this is one of the ungoofy looking ones. This doesn't look bad based on what I'm used to seeing. That looks alright. And here in a minute we'll turn it off and we'll see what it looks like too. And then if we go to one of these, it's got some funkiness in it, and I don't know what all this is. I have no clue. This isn't a really good test. This isn't like I'm taking a known good and XYZ. That looks like AC ripple to me. So I'm seeing a bunch of noise in there. So it could be from the PowerMax unit. It could be from my inverter that I have running in the truck. It could be all kinds of stuff. So we'll unplug certain things and we'll do some stuff. We'll take a look at this. But again, this is my response to this video. This is just me running through and looking at the settings I've got. Just showed them the video now. Hey Sam, someone on my channel just told me. Yeah, yep, that's it. Does anyone know when Vision is going to open registration? I don't know, but I can probably find out. It should be really close because it was almost exactly a year ago today, somewhere a year ago around this time that it opened last year. So if you guys are not going to Vision, make sure you go. If you don't know what Vision is, go to visionkc.com or go to trainbytex.com and check it out. So if you guys can see that, let's go back. Some funkiness going on here. So this is definitely something happening here. Going from in mid-signal, freaking out. Now the bad part is I don't still have the Schumacher unit here to test against it, but Justin Miller and I both, when I got my PowerMax unit, we compared waveforms at the battery, just ripple to ripple AC comparison, and the Schumacher unit was putting out 250 millivolts of AC ripple. The Schumacher, I say Schumacher unit, technically it was a snap-on unit. It's exactly the same as the Schumacher. Justin tried his Schumacher and it was the same. His actual numbers were a little bit lower than mine because we were using two different vehicles, and I had a battery that was in worse condition than what his was that he was using to test. So there's some variables there for sure. Let me see. It's been over a year since I registered, so I would say within the next couple weeks, absolutely, I would say within the next couple weeks, Vision registration would open. So again, there's some funkiness going on in there for sure. So let's, yeah, that is goofy looking. Right in that area. So, and you can see the frequency at which this changes. I mean, look at this. This is CAN. This is pins. I'm sure this is pin 6. I'm sure because of the voltage bias between 3.5-ish, 2.5-ish. So look at the frequency change. And look how fast this is. So this is some kind of either charging strategy or This might be from my inverter, to be honest. So let's turn that back on. Cool. Let me go just switch the PowerMax off for just a second. Let me increase the time base because I got to run back and forth, and then I don't want my battery to die. So no, you know what? I'll go back to where I was. Let me turn the PowerMax unit off. I'll come back, I'll pause the waveform, and I'll turn it back on so the battery doesn't die. Alright, so let's look at this waveform again. Alright, it's not the PowerMax unit. So there's something else making this noise, in the system. I literally haven't tried this yet, guys. You're walking with me live, trying to figure out what is going on, and if the PowerMax is causing the issue or not. And then, like I said, I'm only doing one channel, so we'll go to battery voltage here in a minute and look at that too, and look at the AC ripple numbers versus what Sam came up with. And I guess I should keep an eye on the chat. It's November 17th. Don't they have one on the 17th at Pico? What am I missing? What am I missing? Is anyone here watching TST Motor Age webinar this week? No, 1 and 2 had to work with Pico. First, I can't wait. Yeah, that'll be a good one with G and Pete Meyer. That'll be. I think that's the one you're talking about. That'll be good. So, who wants to take bets that it's my inverter causing this funkiness? What is the PowerMax? PowerMax is it's the power supply I'm using to make the voltage stable while programming. So go back to the waveform here. I'm seeing the same signal as I was before, even with the PowerMax unit on. So let's start that back up. It looks pretty much the same. I don't think the PowerMax is causing much issue on the can for me. Not like it was for Sam. So I will say that I think the units are different. But let's not end there. Let's look at battery voltage and then and see how AC ripple is affecting that too. Let's see. Let me go move the channel. I'll move it from pin 6, I'll move it to the B+, and we'll take a look at battery voltage on the scope. And then actually I'll put the scope back up so you guys can watch that happen. This is like not scientific, but let's move this over here. PowerMax might be a POS. I don't think so. The the PM3-100 is what Sam is using, and I don't think that one's even marketed as a programming power supply, so I don't doubt at all that thing was causing some funkiness. But it doesn't look like to me that the PowerMax is the issue at this point. Not my PowerMax unit anyways. It might mean I just have a good one, might mean he just got a bad one, or it might mean that he's using one that's not rated for programming. So let me switch the pin. You guys will see it move on the screen. All right, so now we're seeing battery voltage, but it's still DC coupled. So we're going to go ahead and AC couple it and take it off of auto. And we're going to go. So there's some noise in here. So we're going to look past that noise. And by noise, I mean signal noise from using a really long cable. So it's going to be hard to differentiate this. and spill out a level, so I am going to turn on a filter. That's too much filter. See, we're growing fuzzies there. So let's zoom in. I would say that's pretty close to accurate. I don't think I filtered out any of the actual AC ripple. Let's go until the peaks are. There we go. That's about the maximum that they're actually reaching on these other spikes. I mean, I'm under fluorescent lights. I'm running a 15-foot cable plus the 9-foot Pico extension. So we're probably giving it the worst possible case scenario that could happen. Yeah, see, and I'm reading 190 millivolts of AC ripple. And this has a lot to do with where you're connected to also. I'm all the way through a DLC. Yeah, that takes away too much. Let's turn the filter off and take a look at what we got going on in here. So with the PowerMax on, I mean, we're peaking 168. We saw 190 a minute ago of AC ripple. So then with the PowerMax off, we'll look at AC ripple. Because remember, my inverter is still running in this truck. Let me start the capture back. I meant to keep the chat open so I can see what's going on. Hook up some more channels. Yeah, I know. But I'm really far away from the truck, so that is a lot of noise. But again, I'm running a ton of cable. Get a chance to win an Uscope or a Pico. Well, that's awesome. So I'm going to start that one. All right, so we'll start capturing again. Let me turn off the PowerMax. All right, I paused it. That's with the PowerMax off. I'm going to turn the PowerMax back on so my battery doesn't die. Hey, Chris. All right. So this is just what's going on in the truck with the key on. Yeah, see? Oh, my wife's fixing to leave, so her car might be kind of loud. We're looking. Oh, yeah. That's a ton. I think this is from the inverter in my truck. So let me turn that off. I'll start this back on. This is with the PowerMax back on. I'll go shut the inverter off that's in my truck and remove the load from it just in case it still does something with it plugged in, because I got a few. I think my laptop is charging right now and a few other things, so there's a whole bunch of mess going on in there. Okay, my wife's leaving, so it'll be just a second. Yeah, there we go. Her truck's loud. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but with the inverter off, it definitely got a little, we'll pause that. It definitely got a little quieter. And that is the PowerMax on and the inverter off. So I think we're looking at more. So let's get a good control first. So the inverter's off inside the truck. Yeah, definitely inverter hash. Alright, so this is battery voltage, key on, inverter off. Let me turn the inverter back on now that I got the waveform. All right, so this test is kind of invalid. I think I'm gonna say that just because this vehicle is a bad control. Because this is dirty on its own. I'm gonna move this. down on the other side. So I think this my vehicle is a bad control to do this on, because if you look at this waveform, this should be clean. This should be just straight battery voltage. There's just key on. So there's something else in my truck that's making a bunch of noise. So I probably just wondering if I should. I'll probably set up a bench test to do this again, and we'll do it with like maybe I'll set up a blower motor or a radiator fan, because I got a radiator fan in here, and I can hook up a battery with a radiator fan going, and then hook up the inverter to that, and then do this test off the vehicle without my inverter and all the wiring for the inverter, because although the inverter is turned off, and I unplugged the two loads that go off the inverter itself is still wired to the battery, so I have no idea what that thing pulls. That's a test I should probably do. Typical Nissan garbage. True. So let me pull this back up real quick, and we'll just take a look at it while we've got it here. I mean, I don't want to dismiss this whole test. What I would really like, I'm really kind of excited to see what Sam does, because if he uses the same setup as he did before, then we have a good control, a good second power supply, and then the PowerMax. So he said he ordered one in his video of the newer style ones to test, or the ones marketed as mine. So that stuff you have in there. Yeah, I have a lot of aftermarket crap in my truck. Because if we look at this, I highly doubt with the key off, I'm actually seeing 125 millivolts of ripple. So remember, 15-foot extension plus attached to a 9-foot BNC, the banana plug connector, connected into a bob, which that may have part of it. So let me go, tell you what, let's go directly to the battery. Let's not go through the bob. So it's not going to be the same as Sam's test. That is an old Z car. Maybe, Chris. So let's hook, what do you say we hook this, my scope directly to the battery and not through my bob and DLC. So that's with the inverter back on. So let me grab 2 banana alligator clamps, and then I'll connect it directly to the battery right where the inverter is connected. So we'll see unbuffered, because it'll be directly out of the inverter and not using the battery as kind of a buffer. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got shop lights on. I've got fluorescent shop lights over this cable extension. So now we're looking at AC inverter on directly at the battery. So there's something in my truck that's causing a crazy amount of ripple and interference and hash. So what did I learn today? That if I ever have to do, what I learned is that if I ever have to do a flash on my truck, to unhook everything but the PCM and run new wires to the PCM and eliminate the rest of the truck before I do it, because it'll probably fail due to the voltage. So that is inverter on. So let's zoom in on that. We can bring this way down. So this is closer to the test that I did with Justin that we looked at. So let's see. AC ripple. Let's just pause it. I got the filter off right now. Let's turn that filter back off completely. So this is probably, I'm not going to say it's noise, I'm going to say that's from the inverter. So let's go ahead and just measure that. That is 64 millivolts. That's pretty high. I mean it's not high. An alternator is way worse than this. The alternator on the truck probably makes way more ripple. And we can do that in a second too. I can turn the inverter off and then start the truck up and see what my alternator puts out. My factory original alternator at 235,000 miles probably makes more ripple than this inverter. So that's inverter on. So let's make that live again, and then we'll turn inverter off. And I'll pause. I'll turn inverter back on so the battery doesn't die. All right. So now let's look at this. Again, maybe it's not the inverter. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I still say our peak measurement's not bad. So we got a secondary measurement of 30 millivolts. So the inverter's adding 30 millivolts of ripple. Is what I'm going to say. And shop lights are probably adding to both of those, to my control and not, because again, this is not a good control. I've got the Pico's halfway across the shop laying on a cardboard box, and then the BNC cable runs over the top of a sheet of metal. The 15-foot BNC extension runs over the top of this sheet of metal that's got fluorescent lights, I don't know, less than 6 feet above it, and then that goes to an unshielded male-to-male splice, BNC splice, to connect to a 9-foot Pico lead that then goes to the battery. So if you want to talk about how much interference we can add to this, there's a lot. There's a lot to be added. So, what do you guys think? You guys think this... Oh, should we look at the network? Well, no, we didn't change anything on the truck. So my truck's not a good one, so we're going to have to try a different vehicle. Maybe my wife's vehicle or something. It's got HIDs that acts all kinds of funky when you turn the HIDs on when you're doing flashing. I don't know if you guys ever looked at ripple with HIDs on. It's crazy. So, and again, back to, there's the, with the inverter back on. So, what do you guys think? You think the PowerMax is a bad unit to flash program? I don't think so. I think that I think there's something in my truck making it look funky on the DLC. Now, again, this isn't. I'm gonna have to redo this on a different vehicle. Might as well add an antenna in there as well. Yeah. I might as well hook a copper line to the unshielded BNC connector and just stick it up about 8 feet and see what I can pick up. I think we need further investigation on a different vehicle. I agree. Hey, Dylan. Okay, what's the rule of thumb for AC ripple as in maximum voltage? So are we talking about during a programming event, or are we talking about just driving down the road? Because if we're talking about during a programming event, the maximum amount you want is the least amount you can possibly get, right? I've asked everyone I can think of that's an expert. I guess it's kind of prideful to say, but I feel kind of like an expert at this point in flashing. I've done enough of them and failed at enough of them and had to have as many problems as I've had with flashing vehicles. Sure, I feel like I might be an expert in it, but there's people that are way better. I would say that's a DeFazio question. I think DeFazio and me both asked at Vision last year what an acceptable. We asked everyone, and they all just said as little as possible. So I'm going to stick with that. Now, on a vehicle, when it's running, it really depends. I've seen some Chryslers with as little as 150 millivolts of ripple act absolutely ridiculous. They won't shift right, the speedometer's all over the place, the lights flicker. And then I've measured ripple on vehicles at 200 millivolts that have never had a single problem. So it's just, I don't know. I would say if you got less than 100, you could rule that out as your issue. Anything more than 100, 150, you might want to try to remedy it some way. Maybe put a second battery in the vehicle or something. I don't know. You know, it's a really, really good question. And I would think the only way I could think of to try to eliminate that as your issue without changing the alternator just to see would be to add somebody mentioned adding a large 1 farad capacitor into their mix as a tool to use, and that's something I may do. I'll probably hit up some of the pawn shops in my area, and I'll probably be able to find some in their stereo equipment. A big capacitor may help suck up some of that AC ripple. And then the other option would be without a large capacitor. You could take the B plus cable that goes from your alternator back to your battery, put that on a second battery, and then jumper cable those together. So there's like 2 sections of batteries before it gets to the rest of the stuff. But you have to make sure you separate the B plus from the alternator, leave the other cables that power everything in the truck over on the other battery. I mean, that's a lot of work to eliminate ripple as your issue. But I would say if you've got more than 100, 150 millivolts, it could very possibly be your issue on the truck or vehicle, whatever it is. But I'm with you guys. I think further investigation, maybe I'll do this at the shop where I've got and record it rather than trying to do it live, because with it doing live, I'm plugged in for internet. I've got USBs running everywhere. The truck's out there. I don't have good lighting anywhere to do this. I was just trying to do a quick live stream. Plus, in 2 minutes, I'm going on for my patrons. So I got to get off here, guys. I'll probably just continue some of this conversation and then go into what I was going to do on the Patreon channel. So if you're interested and want to join in the conversation there, again, shameless plug, and this is where everyone gripes because they're like, oh my god, he's telling us to go to this page and pay money. Yes. Unfortunately, I have other information that I don't give out for free sometimes, so I am sorry. But if you go to my Patreon channel and check it out, I do offer you some major benefits. I would say that it's worth it. Anybody that's a patron of mine, so far I've asked them if they think it's worth it, and they are. They get tech support from me. They get stuff like that, so it's available. If you want to join the Patreon conversation, go there. The link is somewhere on my page, and I'll probably put it in the description. But it's patreon.com/Keith Perkins, one word. So you guys can hate me because I'm beautiful. No, because I'm asking for money for services. I'm sorry. That's the world. Capitalism, and capitalism rules. So we'll see you guys next time. Remember, scope all things. And now I got to figure out how to shut this off.